you trying to get my life? Not now. Why you trying to get my life? 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 Not now. Too soon. Yeah. Yeah. Too soon. Yeah. Not now. Yeah. Not now. Too soon.
Welcome back to Berlin, where Masters has delivered plenty of top-tier Valorant action after the first 2 days. My name is Yingsu, and I'm delighted to be back on the desk with Gio and, of course, the one and only Sean. Guys, welcome back. You prepared to be wrong about more things today, Sean?
What are you talking? I ended up being right. Excuse me. How dare you start the segment like that?
Gio's with me here. You're with me.
Well, yes, except maybe we'll get to this a little bit later, but I'm more on the NA side of things for today, so we might end up making enemies.
One of those days, is it?
It's one of those days.
We'll get there. It's too early. It's too early for that.
Firm handshakes.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
No, I'm not allowing this. I'm not allowing this. But before we kick things off, I wanted to know, we spoke about what happened on day one, what were the takeaways. Is there anything for you that changed on day two in terms of how you're thinking that this competition is shaking up?
Yeah, I have more belief in Brazil now. After yesterday, after what happened with Havan Liberty a couple of days ago, we had a little bit of, I suppose, doubts come from that. There's the whole story of Brazil about whether or not they're going to be able to live up to the expectations they have for Reykjavik. And then yesterday, Vito Keyed, oh my God, they played out of their minds.
Yeah, Heat really, really impressed me. I know there was a lot of hype about him coming into this event. I wasn't sure if he was going to be able to live up to that, especially against a team like Envy, who has Ye, his counter jet on the other side, but he looked phenomenal in that best of 3 yesterday.
I really wanted you to say Heat looked hot, but next time. I got you. Now, with the bracket slowly being filled out after 2 days of games, it's nice to get a reminder of where these wins are placing teams as they progress throughout Masters Berlin.
Has to be great on his the last major tournament before Champions, the global finale of the 2021 Champions Tour. At Masters Berlin, teams will battle to earn circuit points, prizes, and qualification into Champions. Teams attending Masters Berlin earn their spots through one of 7 regional challenger qualifiers. The event will see representatives from North America, EMEA, Korea, Japan, Southeast Asia, Brazil, and Latin America. Taking place from September 10th through the 19th, Masters Berlin will begin with group play, followed by an 18 single elimination bracket. All matches will be a best of 3, with the exception of the finals, which will be a best of 5. Group A is kicking things off with a bang. Some of the best performing teams in VCT history could cross paths here. Group B is a wild mix of rising stars and longtime staples of the VCT. Group C is sure to be a banger. Match 1 is the Russian powerhouse Gambit versus Japan's favorite Crazy Raccoon. Lastly, we've got Group D. Due to the ongoing global pandemic, Ren Esports are unfortunately unable to attend Masters Berlin. As a result, Group D will play a double round robin, where each team will face each other twice, with 2 teams emerging from each of the 4 groups. Those 8 teams will then be seeded into a single elimination bracket. The winner of this bracket will earn both the Masters Berlin trophy and an automatic qualification into Champions, the grand finals of the Valorant Champions Tour. Good luck to all the competitors, and we'll see you in Berlin.
Now, we've seen every group play now. I think we're getting into the swing of things when it comes to the format. But Sean, we spoke about this on day 1, you know. The game is very, very different to the last international tournament. Do you feel like a meta is already developing here?
I think so. If you compare this tournament to Iceland, already you can clearly see Viper has stepped up to the front of the tournament. She's almost a must-pick on nearly all the maps. Same with Astra, actually, which I'm a little bit worried for EU, if I'm being honest, because I don't see that many Astras in your guys' region. It's more of like an NA type of controller that I see. And then Jet still at the top of the scene. So those 3 make up the composition in my eyes of these top teams. And then the initiators are kind of spread out, honestly. I thought I would see more Sky than what we've seen so far in this tournament, and Sova's a little bit less than what we used to see him, so it's like it's balanced. I like the initiators right now so far at the event, and yeah, that's how the meta is shaping up so far.
Yeah, I mean, the Astra point that you make is really the one that's been on my mind, even when going back and watching a lot of these VODs prior to the event. One of the really biggest things that stood out to me about EU compared to pretty much the rest of the world is how little Astra is picked comparatively. Yeah. And I feel like in the last, you know, like few days, maybe we've seen them kind of be like, oh yeah, maybe we should start playing her a little bit more. But if you were to look on stage 3, Astra, after her nerf, EU did not like her.
I mean, they have to catch up at some point, you know, if they want to progress over to the playoffs. They got to adapt with the times, but we've spoken about what happened yesterday, but we have 3 incredible games today as well. We are kicking things off strong with ZETA Division against KRU Esports. Then we've got not 1, but 2 spicy NA versus EU matchups in G2 Esports versus Sentinels, followed by 100 Thieves versus a Gambit right after. Sean, what are you most looking forward to?
I mean, I'm excited about every game today. I think this is the best day so far. We get a nice appetizer to start, and then the main course. Then we're getting a nice dessert. 100 Thieves winning. Yeah,
okay. I didn't ask you.
Oh, you're already excited.
No one asked, Sean, but it's okay.
I mean, for me, I'm probably just going to say what a lot of Twitch chat is thinking. That's the middle game today. G2 versus Sentinels, because Sentinels we haven't seen yet. We actually got to see some of G2 a couple of days ago. Sentinels is that team that has so much anticipation around them. They're the incumbent champions here in Valorant. I want to know, are they as good as they were at Reykjavik? And that is straight up the question that's on everyone's minds this week.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people would say this is theirs to lose, right? But also, you know, at the same time, we talk about NA versus EU, and I think that's the storyline on most people's forefront. But we've seen the other regions. We got a taste of Korea. You know, you mentioned Brazil earlier. Gio, do you see any other maybe rivalries or at least challengers stepping up to the plate?
For me, I think so far, Korea has probably been the region that's provided quite a bit of a threat to sort of slip in between NA and EU and be sort of the middle child who doesn't want to be forgotten. I mean, especially after seeing Vision Strikers playing, they have so much potential. But that said, you know, after seeing watching SEA play yesterday. They did much better than a lot of people thought. And I suspect that the truth of it is it's not quite as cut and dry as saying, oh, this region's better, this region's better. It's more like this specific team is better, this specific team is better. And that definitely came in with those Brazilian teams, for example, where we had really good performance from Vivo Kid, not quite as much from Havan Liberty. So it's probably a bit more nuanced than that.
Yeah, I think Havan Liberty looked very impressive. When I was breaking down those 100 Thieves versus Havan Liberty clips, I was so impressed by the triple initiator utility usage on that team. They're so organized. I think it was just a poor matchup maybe against 100 Thieves, and I'm looking forward to see them later on in the tournament, as well as Vision Strikers, like Gio was talking about. I think they looked very crisp. I'm a little worried about their skill level, though, when they were getting outmatched yesterday. That was kind of weird.
Well, as a proud paper girl, you know, I got a bag paper race a little bit later. But of course, we haven't seen LATAM yet, and we will today. We are going to take a quick break. But like I said, we'll be taking a look at the battle between LATAM and Japan in not too long.
Connections with you. I won't give up when you're walking out. So don't give up. Just trying to lighten up. 'Cause this time we'll make it through.
We are starting our Super Sunday with two #1 seeds facing off as Japan and LATAM send their best here in Masters Berlin. We've seen some pretty one-sided matchups so far in some of the groups, you know, very dominant victories from some of the larger, more well-known teams. But Sean, do you feel like in this case that they're maybe more evenly matched?
Yeah, I think so. I think these teams are evenly matched in the sense that they're from the lesser-known regions. They don't really know what to expect in each other's gameplay. And they both have like a lot of different variety in their agent pools. I'm not sure what kind of game we're going to get today. I hope we get a more strategic game, but we could get that scrappy style where they just let their aimers loose.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely could happen. You obviously have to remember, KRU, of course, were a Reykjavik, so we've seen a bit of them
Yes.
in the past on that kind of LAN